So today I am outside, so but I want to, draft out the pattern for the handbag we are seeing on the screen. So sorry, I'm not with the handbag here, but I'll draft out the pattern, everything about the bag. I'll draft it out and you will see it. So I'm coming. Saying the bag is like a complicated bag, but it's someone that will draft out the pattern now. So I want you to learn this today, how to draft out the pattern for the handbag. These are the material, the thick paper that I'm using today. I want the bag to be thick. That's why I will not be using this soft Mako. Sometimes I do use this, but this one is so soft, so I will not be using it. So I'll be using the paper. I'll show you the material that I'll use for the drafting of the patterns. These are the ones that I've drafted already. This one now I've drafted already. Okay, these are the cover. Then the handle is here also. Okay, so these are the material that I will use for the bag. This is the material, that's the leather that I will use, but I will not use it now. I just want to draft out the pattern, so I'll keep it by the side. These are the equipment that I'm using for the bag: the scissors, the measuring tape. This is the measuring tape that I will use. I will not be using tape for those. This is the ruler that I will use, then the cutter and the pen. So let's go ahead and draft out this pattern. I've drafted it already, so I want to draft it out on my thick paper. Okay, that's the fabric that I'm using. Okay, let's go. It's not that kind difficult, so it's just that it's complicated. Hope you are seeing me. Okay, first of all, the medium that we are going to use is we are going to use 12 by 8. The length and the width will be 12 by 8 inch. Then the base will be 5. Then the side will also be 5 inch. Okay, but we'll divide it into two, making it 2.5. That is 2.5 inch for the side, this side. Then I'll show you the reason why it is just shaped this way, like in a triangular form. Okay, so and this is the flap, the upper flap, and the handle also. Okay, now let me show you the handle that I'm using on the bag. Okay, so sorry, this have been squeezed. So this is the handle that I'll be used for those. Okay, now let me go ahead and start by measuring out the measurement that I'll be using. Okay, so looking at this one now, coming here, from here to here is 12 inch. Yes, from here to here is 12 inch. Okay, so first of all, I'll go ahead and measure out oh sorry, I hope you are seeing me very well here. Okay, make sure that they are seeing me very well. Let me shift it small. Okay, hope you are seeing me now. Okay, now the measurement that I use here is a 12 inch. This is a white ruler. Sorry, I'm using the white. So I'm measuring out 12 inch here. So this is 12 inch. For the ruler is 12 inch is just where it stops. So I'm using that way. Okay, now. So I'm measuring now 12 inch. That's the first measurement. Will be 12 inch. Remember, I'm just using only ruler here. I'm not using tape. Okay, this 12 inch. Then I'll join it together here now. Okay, now this is the 12 inch for the measurements. Okay, coming to the downside of it, I told you it's 12 by 8 inch. That's 12 by 8 inch. So I'm measuring the upper side to be 8 inch. I'll measure out 8 inch. But before then, sorry, there's a mistake here. Coming here, I supposed to give a distance of like 2.5 inch, that the side, because looking at this, all of them comes together. The sides and the main body of the bag, they are together here. So I need to measure out here 2 inch first. That's 2.5 inch, because the side supposed to be 5 inch with the base. With this base here, it's supposed to be 5 inch with the base because of here. But I'll divide it. This side will be 2.5 inch. This side will be 2.5 inch. So done it together, it will be 5 inch. So I'll measure one side of it to be 2.5 inch first of all. So this is 2.5 inch. 2.5 inch also here. Remember, I supposed to measure out this 2.5 inch before I'll measure out 12 inch, or I'll give space after measuring the 12 inch. I'll still see a space to measure out 2.5 inch. So I'll just draw a straight line. Okay, so after measuring those now, the next thing I need to do is to go ahead and measure that 12 inch. It will not be here again. So I'll measure out 12 inch now. Hope you are seeing me very well. Don't know what is happening. I'll try come this side. Hope you are seeing me. Okay. So I will not use this one now. This one is not okay. So what I will do now is to measure out that 12 inch here. From the place I measured 2.5 inch, I will now go ahead and measure 12 inch. I'll go ahead and measure 12 inch. Okay, so I'll just use my ruler and draw a straight line from the place I measured 12 inch. Okay. So these two sides is the side of the bag. 2.5 inch plus 2.5 inch will give us 12 inch. That 12 inch that we measure, 5 inch. So 2.5, 2.5 is 5 inch. Okay. So coming here, I'll now go ahead and measure. I will measure 8 inch. So I'll measure out 8 inch. So this is 8 inch. Now measure 8 inch this side also. Then I will now draw a straight line to join it together here. Okay, I'll measure 8 inch on this one also. Then I'll draw a straight line to join all of them. So this is a 12 by 8 inch. Okay, this is 12 by 8 inch. From here to here is 12 by 8 inch. Then coming here, I will still measure out 2.5 inch. Remember, this line is not among the line that I'm using. Okay, I'll also measure 2.5 inch here. Then I'll measure 8 inch to make sure that it lines together with this. Then I will join this here. I'll join this side. So this side now is the main body and the side. So this is the main body of the bag. That's this one here. And this. This will be 2. So after measuring this way, the next thing I will do is to measure out the base for the bag. So after measuring this, I will now go ahead and measure out the base for the bag. Okay, the base for the bag will now be 5 inch, as I told you before that the base will be 5 inch. So I'll measure out 5 inch here. I'll measure out 5 inch here again. Then I will now draw a straight line. After doing this, on my next video, I will use my whiteboard, that's the marker. I will use whiteboard to draw this pattern for you. So I also measure out 5 inch to make sure that all of them are equal. Now I will join the line. I'm just measuring out the 2.5 inch to make sure that all of them are equal. So this is the base for the bag, and this is the front or the back side. So let's go ahead and cut the other main body of the bag. So coming here now, I'll also go ahead, I will now measure out 2.5 inch as usual. That's the way I measured the other side. That's 2.5 inch. I'll also measure out 2.5 inch here. Okay. Then I will now mark a straight line. Then I'll measure out 12 inch from here also. Okay, this is 12 inch. Okay. Then from the 12 inch, I will measure out 8, as I've done on the other one. I'll measure out 8 inch here. Yeah. I'm just marking out the 8 inch. So from the 8 inch, I will measure out 2.5 inch. I'll mark it, and I will measure out 12 inch from 8 inch. Okay, I'll mark it here. Then I'll now line it. And I will join this one here also. I'm just joining the lines before I'll cut it. Then I'll also measure out 2.5 inch. So this is the measurement for the back. Okay. Then the next thing I will do now is to go ahead and cut it out before I'll do other measurements. Okay, so I'll keep this by the side. Yeah, remaining the seal. Okay, now. So after cutting it, after drawing all those this way, I'll cut out here. We don't know this. We don't know this. And we don't need this. So I'll cut it out. So after cutting it, this is how it will be. Can you see? It will be this way. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is to make the shape to look this way. So what I will do now is to measure out from this point here. From this point, excuse me. From the point here, I'll measure out 1 inch. I'll mark out 1 inch here. Okay, and I'll also mark out 1 inch here. I'll mark out 1 inch, and I'll also mark out 1 inch here. The same thing applies to this side. I'll mark out 1 inch, and all of them I'll just mark out 1 inch here. So now from here, I will now join it from this point to this point. So I'll place my ruler this way, then I'll join it. Then here also, hope you're seeing what I'm doing. I will join it also. Then the same thing applies to all of them. The two corners, I will join it. The same thing applies to this side also. So after that, I'll cut out this side, all the side. I'll cut out the side also. So now I'll fold it from here, from this line. From this line, I'll fold it. So I'll fold it this way. I'll do the same thing here. I'll fold it this way. Then the same thing applies to this side also. Hope you are seeing what I'm doing. Okay. Then coming here also, I want to fold this side. So I'll use my scissors and bend it. I'll bend it this way. So I'll do the same thing here. I like using my scissors so that it will bend fast and easy. So this is the back. So the back will be this way. Okay. So coming to the flap, that's the cover of the back. Coming to the flap, where is the flap again? I want to show you something before I will start cutting it. Oh. Okay. I don't see the flap. I thought it's here before. Okay. Ah, I've gone inside here. Sorry. So this is the flap for the back. So the flap will come this way. This will be here this way. Okay. This one will be here this way. And then the flap will cover it this way. The flap will be this way. So it will be this way here. So I will show you what I did on the flap. This is the main fiber that I will use for the bag, and this is the pattern for the bag. So I'll cut out this pattern. I will draft it out with you. Okay, now let me bring up the fabrics again that I'll be using. So coming to the flap of the back, coming here now, you see this is the back, this is the flap, this is the top. That the one that will be on top of the back. Okay, so I'll measure out. Let me show you something here. Coming to this, you will decide where the back will stop. They want the back to be 3 inch. They want the back to be 1 inch. They want the back to be 2.5 inch. For this one, I use the 2 inch for the back side. Then the upper side, I use 2.5 inch. Depend on what I want. If I want it to be 3 inch, the size I want it to be, I can do that. Okay, so then the upper side is 4. Like this one here now is 4 inch. Depend on what I want. If I want it to come down again, also I'll add it. I might make it to be 5 inch. But I just divided this into two. From here to here is 8 inch. From here to here is 8 inch. So I just divided it into two, making it 4 inch. If I want to increase it, also I'll make it to be 5 inch, 6 inch, depend on the way you want where you want it to stop on your own side. Okay, so before I measure out, I measure out something here. I want to tell you something. Coming here now, this is the upper side for the back. Only here, from here to here, is the upper side, this way. So we're going to measure it out. So any measurements we got is what we're going to use. So this is 10 inch. This is 10 inch. So what we're going to use here is 10 inch. Okay. So I'm going to measure out 10 inch here. I'll measure out 10 inch. Okay. From here, I'll measure out 10 inch. I'll come here and I'll measure out 10 inch. So coming to the back side, as I told you, coming to the back side of those bag here, the back side, this is the back side here, this way. Coming to this back side here, this is 2 inch. I can increase it to be 3 inch, 2.5 inch, but I just want to use the 2 inch. So I'll measure out 2 inch here. So this is 2 inch. Let me mark that 10 inch that I measured already. That's the 10 inch for the back. Okay. So this is 10 inch. So coming to this upper one that will be on top of the bag this way, the measurement I'll use here is 5.5 inch. Okay, so this is 5.5 inch. I'll measure 2.5 inch, not 5.5 inch. I'll measure 2.5 inch here. So this is 2.5 inch. Then I'll mark it. Then coming to the upper side, I'll measure out 4.5 inch. I'll measure 4.5 inch. Then I'll just mark a straight line here. Then after this, I'm gonna cut it out. So this looks this way, just that I added half an inch on this one. I just added half an inch on this one. That I added 4.5 inch, but this one, sorry, I added, this one is 4 from here to is 4, and I make this one to be 4.5 inch. That's the only difference on this one. Okay, so the next thing I will do now is to get the midpoint for this. So I will get the midpoint for those. You know it's 10, so the middle point will be 5 inch. So this is the middle point for this. So this is the middle point. Okay, so I'll get the middle point for this side also. Okay, so after the middle point now, I will come here. From here, I will measure out 2 inch here. I will measure out 2 inch here, and I'll come this side, and I'll measure out 2 inch also here. Okay, I'll come this side, I will measure out 2 inch. I want to bring out where I'll put the handle for the bag. You know, the handle for this bag will come out from here. It will come out from here. So that's what I want to do. So I'll get this side to be 2 inch also. Okay, from the 2 inch, I'll also measure 1.5 inch from for the handle of the bag, 1.5 inch. The handle will be here. That's the handle will be here. The handle will come out from here, you know, but there will be the distance. That's the handle will come out from here to here. That's why I'm just adding 1.5 inch here. So now we'll join it together this way. Okay, coming here now. The next thing I need to do is to measure out 1 and 4. That's 0.4 inch. I'll measure out 0.4 inch here. 0.4 inch. Then I'll mark. Then I will still measure it this side. 0.4 inch. Then I'll mark. So after this, I will now going ahead to curve it with the cover of what I can. So I'll cover it this way. Sorry, this will start here, not here. So this is how this one will be. Okay, then I'll curve here also. Depend on the shape that you want to give it. If you want it to be in triangular form this way, you can do it. If you want it to be in a circular form, any way at all you want it to be, but I just want to curve my own this way. Then I'll curve this side also. Then coming to the back side, this is the top, this is the flap, and this is the back. The top, the flap, and the back. So coming to the back side, I'll give it the shape that I want. Want it to be this way. Okay. So now I'll cut this side out. And I'll cut this side. I want to use it to curve the other side to make sure that all of them are equal. So can you see how it is? So remaining here for me to cut out here. So now I will now use this knife and cut it out. So this is how it will be after cutting it. Then I'll now fold here. So it will be this way. This will come this way. I see. Yeah. So that's how it will be, and this will be this way here. So this is how those bag will be after sewing it. So remaining the handle, and the handle that I'll use is a 1.5 by 14 inch. That will be for the handle that I'll use. I'll be using Mako for the handle because this is very thick. So I'll be using Mako. Then I'll add the leather that I'll use. So thanks so much for watching this video. So wait for the part 2 of those video. That will be on my normal channel. That will be not on live video. It will be on my normal channel that I will sew the back. So I've cutted the fabric that I will use. So my next video, it will be on the normal video that will show you how I sew those back. Thanks so much for watching this video. Thank you so much. Please like the video for me. Also comment on the video. Thank you. If you have any question at all, you can ask me. I am here to answer you. Call me on phone. I am here to answer you on 08149373918. So thanks so much for watching this video. Thank you. If you're confused on any part, please ask the questions. I'm here to tell you everything. Thank you.